It's time for Newsletter Chat, where Jen and Jamie chat about newsletters. Newsletter Chat with Jamie and Jen. Jamie. That song, what?
I forgot to go get more coffee. I'm like, I only have a half a cup.
I know you were
the whole newsletter
looking chat. During the newsletter chat song, like, why is this music so perky and peppy right now? You were like not buying into it.
I've been up for a long time, but I've been in, I hurt my back again. For those of you just now tuning in. I know I went and got a massage was it a month ago? I don't know. And I should have gone like weekly for a while until I got myself all back in, but I didn't. Like, oh, the Band-Aid's working, so let's just move forward. And so I'm going to stop here just for a second because, and I knew I was going to do this, but so I do a few devotionals in the morning. I spend some quiet time with God. Everything today was about keeping like your priorities straight. And about, are you sure you're spending your time wisely? And what are you keeping yourself busy? Like, because I know God made me a certain way, and I no longer feel guilt because I am a busy person, because that's just how He made me. But if I get to the point, it's a balance for me, is that if I get to the point that I am so busy that I'm too busy and I'm missing the bigger picture, then that's the problem. And I should have had the scriptures ready, but if you're listening to this, watching this, you can go. One of the ones that was very helpful for me today was Our Daily Bread. Loved it today. So
I used
anyway,
to love those little booklets. I would always have one of those little Our Daily Bread booklets when I was at my office job.
Yeah, I used to have on my Bible. It got dirty and I threw it away. But my brother, of all people, bought me a Bible cover, like those little bags, but it had the pockets on the outside, and I always had one in the pocket. But now it's digital, which I love, and it actually has an audio version, which I love, because it's kind of one of those things I just love. I feel like I'm not doing my study by myself, right? I feel like there's someone else there. I know that's silly, but I am very much a fan of audio. So, so go listen to that. But it was very much about making sure that you're spending your time where you should be spending it, like, because you're only given so much time. Like, it's a gift that God has given us. So and the scripture, I'll look it up before we're done, because Jamie's going to talk here in a second too. But that the original word was actually spend, not like, what are you doing with your time? No, how are you spending your time? And it's I'll find the scripture.
Well,
just
been
ready for this.
Piggyback off of what you were saying, I have been very aware lately that we're moving into what's called an attention economy, Jennifer, and that's exactly what you're saying. You literally are paying attention now to things, and that is actually a form of currency. Wherever you are paying your attention, Google wants it, Facebook wants it, Twitter wants it. Where are you spending your attention? Where are you giving your attention? To the things of God or to the things of this world? And you might have a physical dilemma with the issue of being busy, but as a differently wired person, I have a mental problem with being still. I'm always busy in my mind, and I don't slow down to think about the things of God. So even if you are not physically running around, it is possible to ignore what's important by keeping your mind busy.
Yes, 100%. And I found the scripture from one of them today that I want to share really quick. And I'm not going to apologize about it, because this is our newsletter chat and this is important to us. So I don't care if you think that whoever's watching this thinks it's not about newsletters. It is to me. And I got to put on my glasses because my eyes some days are worse than others. I don't know why that is. Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is. So
wow, that'll preach.
The translation.
Where is that? Sorry.
This is Ephesians 5:15-17. I might not have said that, but in verse 16, where it says making the most of every opportunity, that's where the literal, if you were to find the Greek word of that, it's a word that they used in the marketplace, and it meant spending the most of every opportunity. And so if you think about it in those terms, like, it's a gift that's given to us, and we only have some. And I'm always using a coin analogy when, like, because as an an introvert. I know nobody believes I'm actually an introvert, but as an introvert, like I can only give, so I only have so many coins to give out, and then I have to like recharge and make more coins. So we're given so many hours a day that it's like money, right? And so how are we spending it? Like, am I getting enough sleep, first of all? And am I making sure that I'm in this moment with my children, not like sitting there thinking of worrying about what I got going on down the road or what I've got to get done later on the afternoon. Like your time is money, right? And so if it was actual money, I would spend it a lot different, right? I wouldn't spend it different. I'd be paying attention to how I was spending it, as opposed to thinking about our time as just this infinite thing that really it isn't. Jason, hi Jason. He said that for sure will preach. Yeah. I'll let you take that. You can use that one, Jason. I'll let you.
What a wonderful segue. I love laughing. Laughter is good medicine. Too. In fact, did you know it was Lord Byron that sort of said that? I mean, I don't know if he was the first, but I was trying to be social media-esque, and I actually took someone's funny picture, and I looked up a Lord Byron quote because I'm like, well, maybe people would read something. And I found that he said, laughter is a good medicine or whatever. And I was like, wow. So that's a tip for nothing.
Awesome. Teresa says, I've had that verse in my bathroom before, but I lean on it to help remind me not to be a sloth. My struggle isn't with busyness, but laziness.
Well, it's a topic for a different conversation, because I could speak a whole lot on, the Martha versus Mary argument, but this is not Bible study. This newsletter chat, because I'm on you a lot about that, aren't I, Jen?
About being a Martha?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. But I would like, again, we could really get deep into this, because I'd love to pull that scripture open, because I grew up being like people preaching that like, and making Martha out to be this like evil person. Yes. But you have to look at the scripture as a whole. And even though Jesus, like he does chastise her, but it doesn't mean that like, right. Anyways, we could, I know. We could do I could write a whole book, I think, on Martha.
I should. Talked about this before, because it's like, whatever. It's very deep.
I should 100%. That should be my first devotion that I ever write. It should be all about Martha, because that's me. I can tell you,
she's getting a bad rap.
I specifically can remember a board meeting, and now that I look at it, it's got to been 20 years ago that I was in. I was on the board as a pretty young person, and that being like basically like feeling guilty and like being prayed over about being a Martha, which,
oh my goodness.
I mean, I'm not saying it was bad. Like there, again, it can be extreme, but anyways.
But why make you feel like that you're a mistake? Like you're
I think I brought
internalized it, right?
Yes, I think I brought it on, and I think that like, and I can get into the busy 100%. But again, that's so exactly this was
right, Jennifer. Yes. Just like Teresa says she could be a sloth, you can be overly busy. That's the whole point. The whole point is not like be like Martha or be like Mary. It's like you were saying, pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on. Are you paying attention?
Yes. Be very careful then how you live. It's not saying stop being who you are.
Right.
I know that God made me who I am.
Right.
For the time period he put me in, for the children he's given me, for the friends and family that he's given me. But I don't want to be unwise, and I want to make the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil.
Great.
So, yes. All right. So this is newsletter chat.
Believe it or not.
Believe it or not. So if you are watching this and you're live, we would especially love you to like drop some questions in there, some comments in our chat. If you have anything that you want to talk about, if you're trying to do a newsletter but you don't know what to put in there this week, those are our favorite. We love giving suggestions on that.
If you don't know what a newsletter is, you need to back up and watch some of our other newsletter chats on where are they stored even. I don't even know where they find them, Jen.
Right here on YouTube. You can go back and find them. And lovely Tina has gone through and has categorized everything on YouTube. So you can quickly find episodes or quickly find newsletter chat instead of everything being all melded together. Love that. It's so much better now.
Yes, I think she feels guilty for not getting up early to join us for newsletter chat. So she went and made that playlist for us.
Right? Exactly. So,
fun.
All righty. So today, the first thing I wanted to start with is something that we haven't talked about, but a while back, Jamie, you mentioned that you were running a promo. You started one on your own. Remember, you challenged me, and I was like, I had too much on my plate, and I recognized it
Good
because
for you.
even though like I was like, ooh, I'm like, nope, not right now, later, but not
Later,
right now.
yeah.
But you said to yourself, self, why don't I run a promo? And Jamie, I would love to know what
Uh,
happened with that. How'd it go?
okay, so here's the deal. Like, it went great, but then I didn't have super high expectations. Okay. I made a
Always a
graphic
good,
that, yeah,
always a good policy.
right. Well, because I didn't, okay, the strategy in me was like this. I'm running a February promo, but I'm asking for people to join it in January. So I'm immediately thinking, first of all, are people even going to know to come and join my promo? Because just like anything else you're doing, you can set up the most beautiful whatever in the world, but if people don't know it exists, they're not going to like buy it or join it or pay attention to
Just
it.
like your book, you can put if you just put your book out there, but no one knows where it is or that it exists, right?
Right.
Same
So I was,
philosophy.
yes. And I was really concerned because I don't have a huge, like, I'm obviously not reaching enough people, which is why I have a newsletter in the first place. Duh. So I was like, how do I find people to be in my promo? Well, it turns out I didn't have any issue. And then I ended up,
Oh, good.
I ended up capping it at like I got 5 people to join or something before the promo actually started. And so I like shut it off. So it ended up just being a very few number of books because things I hadn't thought about started to creep in. For example, how do I want to handle people who join the promo late? Do I want
Oh,
to
I didn't
accept
even
them
know
or
that was a
not?
I didn't even know that was a possibility. So that's a
So
possibility. You could run a promo and people could join it even after it started?
yeah, they can apply to join it, right? And so then you have to keep
Oh.
checking. And to me, it's about my commitment as a businesswoman to another author who is professionally requesting to be in my promo. I don't want to take a chance of it sitting there with this request that
Mm,
I never pay attention to because I know how my brain works, right? And I
right,
know I don't go to Story Origin if I don't have to. And I
right.
wouldn't be thinking to check it to see if someone applied to my group promo because my group promo already started. So I think it's important for people to know they can still apply to join even once the promo has started, and you just have to reject or decline. Now you can shut off not accepting anymore, which is what I did.
And
And
this is on Story Origin, not Book Funnel, right? That's where you did
correct,
it? Okay.
correct. Although you're making me worried, but no, it is Story Engine for sure. And then, so I mean, I personally only sent like 7 clicks to it, wah, wah, but that's okay because like it's my book and my readership and they already know what I'm doing. So they're not really clicking on my stuff. Do you know what I mean? But I did get
Yes.
clicks from other people. Like Tina's readership sent me clicks and she got clicks. So like other people were getting clicks, just not from me, sadly. But seven isn't dismal or horrible. And my readership wasn't what it is right now when that promo went live too. So what
What
can
was
I
your
say?
readership at that point? Do
Hold
you
on, I
remember?
can tell you. I can
Hey.
tell you because MailerLite conveniently keeps track of all your campaigns. So if I remember correctly, I only had 251 people, 251 or 244. It was one of
Mhm.
those times. And now I'm up to like 419 got my last one. And
Awesome.
this next one coming up,
Which is Sunday?
no,
No, Monday.
Monday the 8th, we'll get
Okay, Monday.
445. So you see, just from the few promos that I'm doing, I'm going from 419 people getting my newsletter. Next week, 435 people will get it. So it's working.
Right. That's awesome.
Yay!
I have one going out on Monday as well. Normally I'd send it out on Saturday, but a promo that I wanted to be part of that I found on BookFunnel started on a Monday. And
Mm,
I think it's only a week long. I should probably I'm in BookFunnel right now looking at it.
that's what's kind of tricky. If I don't have a newsletter scheduled to go out while the promo is live, then I have to pass or decide that I'm going to send out another extra.
Right. Yeah, that's only for a week. And so I didn't want to send it out the Saturday
Right.
before. I don't want people clicking on it when they get it and it's not
Right.
active yet.
Yeah.
So I just decided I would just send out a Monday because I really want to be part of this. It's a clean romance promo, but specifically heroes with disabilities
Oh, that's awesome.
because I of my character John,
Mm-hmm.
who was injured in the war. So and I like that it's only has 24. Like I like the big ones. I usually get a decent amount of clicks from that, but the 24 and it's very specific. So I'm interested to see. I can share a screen because I can preview it right now. I'm interested to see like how this fares against ones that have like 90 some, right?
I really
This
like
is one of
that
my favorite
graphic.
books, by the way. If you are interested in contemporary clean romance with a little bit of a Christian bend, Tammy Deeran's great. I love that whole series. So all really great covers.
Yeah, and
So yeah.
even the top at the top. See, okay, this is a very good example of Jennifer making sure that the readership of this particular promo is going to like her book. Do you notice that like there's something very, I don't know, like preppy? The whole graphic at the top, there's all just a unifying, they all look like real photographs. Nobody is a cartoon. Gosh, Jen, what could you say are some common elements? There's a lot of fancy font, like cursive font.
Right.
There's
which ones are contemporary and which ones are historical, which I think is very important.
They're all romance, obviously. They all have a couple or, you know, the girl longing.
Right. And they're all very clean.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, no chess.
No chess and
No
no like really inappropriate, like, because even some clean ones.
Because here's the thing, you have to share this to your readership too, right? So you have to think, when my readers click on this, they're going to scroll and see all these same book covers that I'm seeing. And maybe your readership would not mind a chest or two, but you have to know that about your readership, because you don't want to send people running for the hills because they thought that their eyes weren't going to see something like that. You have to know your audience.
My readership would hate if there was like stuff that was inappropriate. I know my readership, I would say, very well. So because I've been very, very specific with the promos that I do, who I swap with. I only want to curate a list that's going to be interested in my writing. And when I share things with them, what's wrong with my computer? I want to make sure it's things that they would be interested in. So
yeah, Jason says he likes how you make it really clear what the readers are getting into. Right. If you put your book in, Jen, if your book was in there with a bunch of like sci-fi laser shooting thrillers or whatever, this is not your audience, right? Like your book, you would think it would make your book stand out, but those people don't want to read your book. It's only going to make them say, what is this book doing here? It's not going to make them say, oh, I think I'll try romance, weirdly. Like it just kind of doesn't work that way. These are people looking for what they're looking for.
And to show that, to like give you an example on the other like, I don't want to say extreme, but the flip side of that coin, I'm gonna share screen again. Now here's a promo that I did in Story Origin. It's the one that I shared this week. Clean NC romance and clean romantic suspense. I love the graphic.
Cute. It's very whimsical.
Yes, the books mostly seem good. Like, all right, so she has the title, so that helps you to know, because he has heart in it. But other than that, this could just be women's fiction, you know, if it, you know. So again, this doesn't look romantic at all. So they're saying, like, whoever did this one did not curate the list as specifically as the other one did.
Right, because they're just marketing Christian fiction. They're not marketing Christian romance. So the reader is expecting different genres. So you're not going to maybe...
No. This is specifically supposed to be NC romance, which is Christian romance and clean suspense. Now, so here's what I want to talk about. I'm not going to even show this one here. I'm sure it's a great book, but it is not my genre. And they almost weekly tried to swap with me. And I don't know. I keep ignoring it, because this is not. Now, maybe it's possible that some of my readers are grandmas that want to buy books for their kids, or moms, or whatever. It's possible. But I am very protective of my list, and that's not my genre. I'm only going to offer books in my genre. So the other thing is,
if you're getting refused, this might be a reason, folks. If people are not accepting your mail, like, are you paying attention to see if it's going to be a good fit?
These people aren't, because this is clearly clean NC romance and clean romantic suspense. But how did they get in the promo? That's what I want to know. Like, the person that did this promo, I don't know that they really even checked. There is
Well,
nothing.
you are allowed to say yes or no to who comes into your promo, and that
Oh.
is something to talk about, because Jen would say then that she might have refused that particular one. Like if she was doing this, she might make different choices.
Right. I would not refuse this one at all. I would not refuse this one, but I do want to talk about this one. But this one I would refuse. This one I would have to really check to see if it's actually romance. That one looks like mystery or suspense or something. That does not look a romance at all. And the name on it doesn't, Anyway, this one here I think is fine. I would never do a cover like this. Because I think that if you look at this,
Well,
you
the
came across
author
this.
isn't here asking us about her cover though, so I'm getting a little uncomfortable with like
Oh,
picking out particular covers to
no,
criticize.
I'm not criticizing this cover. I think the cover is great. I guess you're probably right. I probably shouldn't. It's just for me, I want mine to. We were talking about specific. I want mine to specifically look like a historical romance or
So
a
you're
Christian
saying
romance.
you don't think it conveys the genre appropriately or something, is what you're saying?
I don't know that it, like when I look at it, it doesn't look Christian to me or clean to me. But it could be because it's not. It's like a borderline thing. So I'm sorry. I did not mean to like.
Interesting conversation though, because what is Christian or clean or whatever? Some people are like,
Right.
if there's no man chest, I'll accept
Right.
it. Do you know
And
what I mean?
that's really that it really is the line. And I'm not, and didn't mean to show that to criticize them. What I meant was that because Jason said that I make it really clear, I want my covers and what I do to be very, very clear. So that when people are like searching, as soon as they see it, it looks like a book they want to read. Does that make sense? And so that book, I'm sure it's clean. Like they wouldn't have put it in here because nobody wants to, and I'm sure that they like vetted and made sure everything was clean and whatnot. And you had to check something saying that it was. So I'm sure that it is. All I'm saying is like when I do it, I'm like over the top maybe with it. So Piper says, sorry, I'm late. I thought this started at 9 this morning. It did start at 9.
Did daylight savings happen or something and I didn't get them? Well, you're here, so I can't be wrong.
Yep.
Usually I rely on someone else to keep time for me, and since you showed up, I must be right.
Anywho, so yeah, so I'm doing that. I have that promo coming up, so my newsletter is not coming out until Monday.
Would you ever do a group promo? Would you do
historic? Been there. Just so you know, Rhonda messaged us when we went live, and she obviously didn't know we were live, and she's like, is our meeting at 9 or 10? Because we have our business meeting after this. So you're not the only one.
Yeah, okay. And sometimes it's questionable if I'm going to show up. I have an alarm in my phone. 8:30 Tuesday, meet with Jen to get ready for newsletter chat. So
okay, so you started to say something, Jamie. What was
Are you ever going to do, like, have you decided to maybe dip your toe in the group promo, or were you waiting to see how I felt about it?
No, I think I will. I think what I'm going to do though, I'm forming my launch strategy for this book, and it's different. Like I've done launch strategies with my other 2 books. Like I don't just throw them out there, but this one is going to include more, like I'm ramping up. And then when book 4 comes out, I'm like pulling out all the stops.
Because now you got to sell your upline, like your backline or whatever. Yeah.
Yes.
It's time to really go when book 4 is ready. Yeah.
Exactly. So what I'm thinking though is after book 3, so after the launch and after book 3, and I do all the promos that I'm going to do, I think that then, and when I say promos, I mean promo sites. And that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah. That's later. Like paid stuff, right? That's like paid advertising. Yeah.
Right. Then I think that on the tail end of this, so then as your launch happens and then it starts to come down. When it starts to come down, I think is when I'm going to start creating some promos with my books.
I'm so happy, Jennifer, that this is your track, because my career track is so different than yours. It's going to be really awesome, I think, for our listeners to be hearing how it goes for you, because you write to market, you have a genre. I don't write to market, I write short. Like, we are not doing the same thing. So I'm really excited to see, because I've been seeing your success coming from miles away for years now, and you're finally almost over the top of the hill, and I cannot wait to see where this roller coaster ride takes us.
Yeah, because like any small business, you don't, flip the open sign on your first day and all of a sudden making a profit, right? You have to like build a business, and that's what I've been doing.
Never let
So,
them see you sweat. And then it'll seem like an overnight success when it happens, and you'll be so frustrated. You'll be like, no, it's been years of grueling toil.
yes, right.
Right.
Piper says, I one time checked through a couple of the books in a promo I was in, and one was definitely in the wrong promo. I hemmed and hawed about what to do because I wasn't
Right.
running it.
Yeah.
I ended up emailing the one running the promo, and that book was taken out. Well, good. So was it inappropriate? I'm wondering, like, was it inappropriate, or was it like something like that children's book where, because I kind of feel like none of my business. Like if they let it in, whatever, and maybe some of my readership will be interested in that, but it's not something I'm going to feature on my page. But yeah, like if there was something, if I was in a promo and there was a bare chest or something really inappropriate, I would have no qualms about messaging the person that was running it.
There are so many.
She said it was so inappropriate. Oh yeah, I wouldn't even have thought twice. Yeah.
Yeah, there are so many decisions and choices that we make that, we just have to stick by it when we make them.
Right. But on the flip side of that, so yeah, so like if I look at this one promo and there's a book it's not bad, but it's not genre specific like it's supposed to be, I probably won't do another promo with this person running the promo. I'm sure it's a lot of work and I'm not criticizing them, but again,
You
there are
have
other
to
promos
know
I'm
your
gonna use.
market. I mean, you're a business person. Piper said she's telling her readers it's a clean promo. They better be clean. And
Yes.
so, yeah, I mean, if I'm featuring a promo that's clean and one that isn't, I'm always very clear. You're not going to see clean titles in this promo if you click.
And Jason said he's had the same experience. I have run into that before also. It was really bad. Yeah. And so as a person running the promo, you can't read all the books before, you know what I mean? Unless you make it very limited, you have to trust people. So I think that if it's inappropriate, you for sure need to reach out to the person running the promo. But even though I wouldn't probably do another promo with the person running the one in Story Origin, I am for sure going to write down the name of the person that's running the one in Book Funnel that I'm very impressed with. And when they offer another promo, I'll probably go for it because I think that they've really done their work to curate a good list of books that are genre specific. So there's a positive to it, right? So, but that leads me into what I really wanted to talk about today is that I might back off from doing some of these promos for a while. I don't know. I might back off from trying to build my list. And I know that sounds crazy.
You've got a really big list.
Well, let me show you. Okay, so I'm going to bring up my latest newsletter if my computer decides it wants to let me. And I'll share screen again.
Because Jennifer, like, I almost feel like you've been building your list for a really long time. And I feel like selling your own kind of stock is now where you're at. Like you've kind of graduated to now your list is a cultivated list of your customers who just need to rotate opportunities to buy your stuff, maybe, if that makes sense. But I don't know if you're there yet or not. But again, that's like a graduation.
I mean, that's not why, because I feel like even when like I'm not selling my stuff, it's nice to offer like free books to my, readers and like that. All right. But so for anyone who hasn't seen this is the back end of MailerLite. When you click on a campaign, this is the first page you get, and it gives you great statistics. I sent out 1,041. I had a 31.47% open rate, which is low for me, but that's okay. A 17.23%. That's about average. My click rate is right around 17, 18%. I had 5 people unsubscribe. That's fine because that's like less than 1%. I had a person complain about spam. I've stopped looking. When I go and look at the people that complain about spam, almost 100% of the time, it's people that I've been on there and they've clicked and they've like downloaded stuff, but then they mark me as spam. So I don't think they know what spam means. I think they think that like, oh, I just don't want to receive this anymore. I'm not really sure. Hard bounce means that the email is not a legitimate email anymore. And soft bounce means that they couldn't get the email through, but possibly it's just because the person's like, there was something wrong with their email at the time, whatever. Hard bounce is that they have had multiple problems with that email list and they just have bounced it.
Okay. Can we pause just a moment and say, if you are new, if you're sort of a newbie, don't freak out. Like Jennifer has 1,000 subscribers. She's been doing this for a while. So just don't freak. None of these numbers. You don't need to be chasing anything right now. You just need to be doing your newsletter and doing everything, putting one foot in front of the other. But listen to this for the future. Go, Jen.
Right, exactly. And might be some like Piper is more established. So this is things that, that she knows.
For sure.
Speaking of Piper, she says, thinking of backing off, my niche is not huge. And the latest promos I was in got a lot of clicks and few downloads. I may just switch to SWATs for a bit, not sure. Because maybe you've already already farmed out everybody from BookFunnel or whatever in your niche, maybe.
And Jen, I don't want you to lose your point there, but I do want to ask Piper, well, what is your goal with your newsletter? Like, I really want to know, if she's not just right now building to sell, does she have a particular thing she wants to sell or convey? Like, what is her new mission then for her newsletter if it's not just to grow the newsletter? Anyway.
All right. So here's the point that I've been working my way to. So you can up here, sales review, all these other things, view email, and they've started something new that I really love here. So you can look at your email. Here is the link in Story Origin when it says archive link. This is it here. You copy the URL and you put it over there. That way people that you've featured can go see it. But here, look at this. They started putting like a box over possible clicks and told you what percentage, which I think is great. So 18.39% of clicks were on this and like that. 54% were on here. Like, I just really love all of this. It shows that 7% made it all the way down to here. This is in my newsletter all the time, so I don't expect to get many clicks from this. But look at, I got like 5% there and 1.5% here, and I'm not upset with that. And I did sell some books this week, so I don't know if it came from here or what. But here's what I want to show you, though. This is why I'm thinking about backing off. So here's the free read. 18% plus the 54% is pretty large, The one that was a new release for sale got less than 5% clicks. So I'm a little worried that when I go to sell my book, that nobody's going to buy, because I've just curated a whole list full of people only looking for free books. It's a possibility. I don't know. Again, we're going to do a podcast soon about superfans. And I think that there'll be larger percentages than this, just because I am creating fans of me and of my work. And this is a new person introduced to them, and possible. But it's also possible that I need to start thinking of other strategies to build my list that don't include a bunch of the free promos. So,
yeah, I don't know. And also, so because it's like, I feel like in my personal economy, when I think about my newsletter, this is just how my brain works. I have a certain amount of energy to give to my newsletter. And right now, I feel like that focus is on growing readership. And that is my current directive with the newsletter. But I personally feel like you're at a place, and Piper is possibly at a place, where the mission needs to adjust from growing in numbers to actually converting that into people who will pull the trigger and spend money. And the question is, how do you jump from point A to point B? Because growing your newsletter is luring them in with delightful freebies. And then how do you get that sale? So this is going to be very interesting to see the two of you cross over.
Right. Agreed. All right. Let's go back to the chat and see what some people are saying about this. I transferred all my newsletter and author emails to a new email specifically for them so that I don't miss stuff. In doing that, I had to unsubscribe and resubscribe to most.
Yeah, so she has a certain email just for her newsletter subscription, so she makes sure she doesn't miss them.
Gotcha. I'm both growing the newsletter and also getting reviews of my for sale books. Me too, slowly, but Teresa says, so many times I accidentally checked the last box because the page refreshed just as I was clicking it. I caught it every time that I could see people could actually click that option.
Really?
I mean,
unsubscribe. The spam, mark spam. Yeah, so like a fat thumb could have done it to you, Jen.
Right.
Yeah.
There are also promos for sale and for reviews, and that you might consider. Yes, but that's what the disabilities one is. It's a sale one, but I'm going to use those very lightly, because if I'm going to sell things, I want it to be me.
Yeah.
I mean, I put the work into this, so. So I think what you said makes a lot of sense, Jamie. Like you and I are at different stages, right? Though you are building your list quickly too. So I do think that it's probably time for me to start really just massaging the list that I have, right?
Ooh,
Which
it's so
could mean
exciting.
that like I don't grow a lot and I might
Right?
lose.
You
You're
might
still
lose.
naturally going to get unsubscribed
Yeah.
and whatnot, but that by the time book 3 comes out, they're ready for it, right?
Jennifer,
So
I think you would rather have 850 people hot to buy that book than 1,100 people that you have right now, and 300 of them could care less about your book. I mean, really, if you think about your open rate hovering at about 40%, if you look and see specifically who's opening your emails, there's your super fans already. So if you could even take them and put them in a separate group and try maybe marketing a little bit differently to them. Sometimes there are things in a newsletter that you can click or unclick that will only go to certain groups, and you can try stuff like that. Like maybe click that this ad only goes to people that you've put in a group that click on a lot of stuff in your newsletter. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah, there are ways of doing
Can
that.
do now, and I'm just not ready yet. So I love to live through you.
Teresa says that might be true, Jen, but readers who read your newsletter weekly and know you will be more likely to buy your stuff. That's what I'm banking on. That's what I mean by super fans. So, and that's exactly what I'm talking about, that I might like stop my focus. Remember we talked at the beginning of newsletter chat about being careful how you live and to be spending your time wisely. That I might shift my focus to spending my time just really providing good newsletter quality stuff, not just freebies, but like things that will help to really help those that are already on my list feel loved. And
That's a good strategy. I love it.
I mean, I hope that I do that anyway, but one of the big ways I do that is finding free promos for them. But yeah. Okay. So Tina says, I was in a room on Clubhouse the other day and some were saying they sent out a poll and segmented their subscribers who only want emails when there is a new release and those who want every newsletter. It's not a bad idea.
I love that idea, but I would personally tweak it this way because I wouldn't want to put into their mind the possibility that they wouldn't want to receive my newsletter. So I wouldn't ask it that way. I wouldn't say, would you only like to get my newsletter sometimes? I would say, would you like to be added to the Secret Circle Club or some craziness like that? Or would you like to just stay an average, boring follower? Of course, I wouldn't word it like that, but I would make it look like a FOMO situation. You better get in now, girlfriend, or you're going to miss all the good tea or whatever. I wouldn't be like, do you only want to get my newsletter sometimes? Because I'm sure I bother you. Why put that into their mind? Why put it into their mind that there's a reason they wouldn't want to subscribe or get everything you put out? Put it in a positive light.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way too. And for those of you that are not as young and hip as Jamie, FOMO stands for fear of missing out. Just helping you out there.
Not young and hip. I have young and hip people in my universe, and they try to throw things at me, and some of it sticks. That's all it is.
Melody says, yes, this is super helpful. Super fans is what we all want as authors. Then you want to tune in this Friday for our podcast because that's everything that we're talking about is super fans.
Able to open an email in under 2 seconds or whatever. Like Tina goes on this whole Superman role whenever we say the word super fans in her head, she said. Isn't that funny? Oh. That's usually my thing to do, but it's Tina this time. We'll have to ask her about it.
That's hilarious.
Well, I just wanted to bring up, remember my last week's frustration with MailerLite? So I feel a little bit,
remind me.
Okay. Remember I published my newsletter, but the preview did not show the advertisement for my swap, my wonderful swap, beautiful cover of a horse. And the girl wrote a beautiful story. And I was going to put her in my newsletter. She was going to put me whatever. And then when I pushed publish or whatever, the preview didn't show her ad. Remember? Yeah. And I had gone out of my way to make it gorgeous and this and that. Well, I don't know if she listens to newsletter chat or if Jennifer sent her a check on the down low, but no joke. She actually sent me an email. Can you believe it? And it says, thank you for the great placement in your newsletter. I saw a substantial uptick in subscriptions on the send date. I really appreciate the effort in copying over the book blurb to get more clicks. Have a great day, Natalie Keller Reinert.
That's so
Isn't that
nice.
nice? Because all of that I went through trying so hard to make sure I gave her a happy day and God let me know that it worked. I'm so thankful that God sent her little heart a message to send me a telegram because I was like, I hate you, Miller Lite. I hate being a writer. I want to give up today. And then I got a thank you note. So a thank you note can turn someone's day right around. I just want to encourage everyone to send them.
You know, it's funny. Like, that's such a great idea. Why have I never sent an email after a swap and thank the person for swapping with me?
Well, particularly a successful one. I mean, like I sent her 30 something clicks. I'm not going to say how many I got from hers, but it was not 30 something. So I felt like, hooray for me to like do someone something great. And then she was like thankful for it. Do you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you do hard work stuff and you feel like no one notices, but someone noticed.
Yep.
Aw, so sweet, people are saying.
Yeah. Says, ooh, I should do that when I see better results.
That's what I mean. I don't expect someone to do that for the 7 measly clicks I sent them for my discovery, whatever. Like, I really would not expect, thanks for running that promo. You did so great. Like, no. But this was like, do you know how much it stressed me out? And I hope she does not watch Newsletter Chat. I hope she has no idea how I mean, she could go back and watch that right now and see how I was like in tears and stressed. And then she sent me the thank you. It was totally a God thing. And I just want to praise God for it.
That is awesome. And now think about this. When she has a book for sale and she messages you, hey, can we swap for the sale? You'll be 100% because like
sure, she's my homie now. Now I'm her super fan. Even if I don't buy every book she ever wrote, as a human being, I am a human being super fan of hers.
Right, exactly. Melody says, "Oh, I love thank you notes from authors or from readers." Agreed.
The world to people.
Yeah, they really do. All right, so both of us have newsletters coming out on Monday. Nobody put anything in the chat that they needed help figuring out what to put in their newsletter. So clearly everybody's all set this week. So yay.
A lot of people are hiding like, don't ask me if I'm going to do a newsletter. Like they're not wanting to be held accountable. But if you want accountability from this Newsletter Chat, we're willing to give that to you. If you want to go in the chat and say, hey, I want to start a newsletter. Can you guys ask me about it next Tuesday? We'll try our best. And I'm sure our chatters will call you out because they have memories much better than mine. If you need accountability for us, we're here to give that to you. Come on in and ask for it.
Yep. Sounds great. All right, Jamie. We good? You're all set. You know what you're doing. You don't have any. Do you need help with your newsletter?
No. In fact, I'd be very confused trying to talk about my newsletter right now because remember, I had one idea for today's show.
Yes.
And you gave it to me.
The show without an outline. Welcome to Newsletter Chat.
For sure.
For sure. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. We appreciate y'all being here, and we hope to see you tomorrow to sprint with us and Friday on the podcast. Bye, everyone.